Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
True FM, 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Wakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news, my name is Sensee, the representative.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life as of the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Those connecting those things.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM, 96.1.
News here at the Red Sex Communications Incorporated. Today is September 25. My name is Gbarntolmah, presenting the headlines covering for the construction of two overhead bridges in Gbarntolmah, Myean County. A group of journalists under the bound majority members or leaders of the Trust Association Liberia themselves on the institutions of pending Congress, and police have arrested Amos Kofa, former Capitol building maintenance supervisor, and the local to Ebola in connection with the December 18th for housing attack in Myean County and away from Liberia. Ghana Chief Justice sacked over allegations of misuse of public funds. This plus many more. The view of the news bulletin sports are all parties for today's edition of Broken News Desk. To be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
True FM, 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Wakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build.
Region. At this point, we join Emmanuel Sensee, who said the piece with the reading of the news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. Good evening, everyone. The government of Liberia has broken ground for the construction of two overpass bridges in Torgbean Boulevard near the ministerial complex in Liberia. The project, funded through aid from China, is aimed to transform travel, trade, and daily life along one of the city's busiest routes. Speaking at the ceremony, President Joseph Boakai emphasized that the bridges represent and more than just infrastructure, but are essential solutions intended to alleviate congestions throughout the city. The Liberian leaders stressed the importance of improved road safety and the economic benefit of reducing traffic delays, which can hinder the timely delivery and acquisition of goods and services. They noted that the construction will facilitate the quicker movement of emergency vehicles like fire trucks and ambulances, significantly enhancing public safety. For his part, Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Yin Shu highlighted the strengthening ties between China and Liberia, emphasizing a shared vision for economic cooperation and development. Ambassador Shinwo pointed out that despite the geographical distance, the two nations have forged a close bond, particularly following the meeting between the two statesmen during the Beijing summit of the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation in 2024. The Chinese ambassador indicated that the recent launch of the overpass bridges symbolizes tangible progress in bilateral relations and reflects the outcome of the strategic partnership established at this summit. A group of journalists under the binary majority leaders of the Reporters Association of Liberia listened themselves from the institution's 2025 pending Congress. According to the group's statement issued on Tuesday, they described the action of the president of the Reporters Association of Liberia as unilateral and unconstitutional, therefore called on all reporters to boycott such Congress. They also frowned at what they called a one-side decision taken by President Willie Tukpa to transition the leadership by constituting an illegal Congress committee while the image of the institution then damaged due to President fraudulent behavior. The release followed that during the 2022 inauguration, the institution received $3,000 for said amount was allegedly misused by President Willie Tukpa. The majority leaders, including Sensee, Vice President, Augustus Secretary General, and Esther Johnson, National Secretary of the RAF, said they have no knowledge about the institution's Congress committee and activities surrounding any conduct of the Reporters Association of Liberia 2025 elections. Representative Elo of Plomo of Montserrat County District 10 has vowed to resign from his position if his critics and suspicious claims that misused district funds to acquire properties for personal gain since taking office in 2019. Flomo made his declaration during an appreciation program by the Nigerian Shepherd Committee addressing concerns raised by constituents who were needed for increment in scholarship given to the community. In addition to confronting allegations about his finances, Flomo announced a significant increase in the scholarship pool allocated from his district, raising it from 3.5 million Liberian dollars to 25 million Liberian dollars. He is an humanitarian effort. The Bishop of the Independent Catholic Church of Liberia, Gbarntolmah, has launched a major food distribution targeting vulnerable populations in Gabon and Muslim countries. Speaking Tuesday at the launch of the exercise, Bishop Doyen emphasized that the initiative is purely humanitarian, not politically motivated, supporting law victims, unprivileged persons, and women. Note that the first series of the initiative provided 750 eggs of 75 that's 25 kg rice, and with the ongoing phase will distribute an additional 450 eggs across the two countries. Bishop reaffirmed his commitment to helping those in need, calling it one of society's most honorable responsibilities. Meanwhile, some of the contributors expressed deep gratitude to Bishop and compassion for life USA, noting that the support was significantly increased the burden of providing daily needs for their families. Most of our campus Senator Darius Dillon has vowed to lobby with both House of Representatives and the Senate to summon Labour Minister program. Senator Dillon said upon their return from break, the Labour will have to update the legislature on the status of the permits. Also promised to work with his colleagues to ensure that the Minister of Labour presents a quarterly report on jobs in the labour market. According to him, Mr. must also inform the legislature about the number of jobs created in the private sector within the last months. A strong supporter of the Government Unity Party, Johnson, has termed Morocco City Mayor John Siafa as corrupt and unqualified to serve as head of the Morocco City Corporation. Johnson is therefore calling on President Joseph Boakai to dismiss with immediate effect Morocco City Mayor. She, however, expressed frustration in his leadership, noting that it has not positively impacted Morocco and its economies. Giving an insight of the former CDC leadership, Craig Johnson accused the Coalition for Democratic Change government of past corruption and unlawful acts against truth-telling. She assured Liberian of the ruling party readiness to fight corruption in the best interest of the Liberian people. President Joseph Boakai has announced a significant reduction in the prices of flour and rice following report and recommendation from the Presidential Ad Hoc Committee on Price Contradictions chaired by Vice President Jeremiah Horn. According to an executive march release, the Liberian leader revealed that the wholesale price of flour, which previously stood at US $39 per 100 RD bag, has now been reduced to US $35 per 100 RD bag. Likewise, the price of rice, which was at US 16.75% per 25 kg bag, has been reduced to US 14 per 25 kg bag. The release notes that the reduction represents the Unity Party government's commitment to ensuring that ordinary Liberians have access to affordable food. It further that the broader administration is working with producers and importers to maintain fair and sustainable trade practices that safeguard continuous supply. President Boakai has followed instructed the Ministry of Commerce, inspectorates, and all relevant stakeholders to ensure strict enforcement of the new prices across the country. The Liberian Chief Executive warned that individual or business owned creating arbitrary price increases will face the full weight of the law. Criminal Court A has granted one part of defense lawyers' submissions to the court by ordering state lawyers to keep the 6 defendants in Montgomery County rather than in Mangibi County due to jurisdiction areas. Judge Roosevelt, according to our judicial correspondent, said keeping the defendants at the Mauritius Central Prison will allow their lawyers to meet easily than another jurisdiction. Judge Willie also dismissed defense lawyers' assertion that the court was perpetually keeping the defendants in prison, saying the 6 defendants are in detention for preparing a defective bond. Our judicial correspondent said on the submission to the court to suppress state lawyers' evidence, Judge Willie suspended his ruling for Thursday, September 4, 2025. This follows prosecution and defense lawyers' claims and counterclaims with the objective of convincing the court for verdict. The National Identification Registry has condemned a recent violent attack on its executive director Andrew Peters and other staff at the institution's head office in Monrovia. The September 1, 2025 incident involved the theft of personal items and damage to the office, placing staff lives in the National Biometric Identification System at risk. The National Identification Registry has highlighted the increase of security measures at its headquarters in Monrovia. The National Rehabilitation for Drug and War Persons has appealed to the government and international partners for assistance in training some rehabilitated youth basic vocational skills in preparation for their reintegration into society. The executive director of the organization, retired Lieutenant Colonel Augustine Nanko, disclosed that he has procured 50 desktop computers, 5 sewing machines, and employed the sub-scientists to train rehabilitated youth for the job market. Speaking at an interview with CI Monrovia on Tuesday, Lieutenant Colonel Nambe commended the new entrant at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency for embarking on a compulsory drug test for all LDA officers. And out of Liberia, Ghana's President John Mahama has filed the country's Chief Justice Torgbean following a recommendation by an inquiry. He had been on suspension since April after complaints were lodged against or in petitions by 3 individuals. The president then formed that grounds of state misbehavior had been established and recommended for removal from office Muhammad's office on Monday. Ms. Torgbean has raised allegations as unfounded and politically motivated. The president President Myean was required to act in accordance with the committee's recommendation, but critics says worrying precedents and undermines judicial independence. Well, Johnson, that is it for the news bulletin. It's back to you for the
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a barefoot manner, we'll keep your plate alive.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen there represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
I think it's a regular feature here on News Desk, thanks to Emmanuel Sensee for bringing to our top developments here on the program. News Desk, a group of journalists under the banner directed members of the Reporters Association of Liberia. This is itself from the institutions going to reform and the Constitution as regular for development program. The government of Liberia has broken grounds for the construction of two air bridges on Torgbean River and the industrial complex in Emmanuel. The project funded through aid from that's China is aimed to transform travel, trade, and daily life along one of the city's most routes. Speaking at the ceremony, President Joseph Walker emphasized that the bridges represent more than infrastructure, but are essential solutions intended to elevate congestion throughout the cities.
Some of the things that you contribute, not just because of God, but because you share something with people. And we should also think about countries' human interest. It shows that people have resources. They use the resources to help others. But we also have resources. And I heard that there kind of future that others have resources. And we use the way that we can do resources. And other when the resources are used for the right way, benefit other people, even God himself the person. So today we are here for a project for him, and last night was praying as a relationship. Today we are working on a project that was finished for people travel, trade, and make one of the president's routes. The two override maybe over time overlap. One we had a ministerial complex, and the other for the east FKD overlap. are more than just concrete truths here. They are practical solutions that reduce, strengthen, and improve road safety and prevent economic losses. Demonstrates every day in the structural delays in delivering and acquiring goods and services, as well as the movement of millions of fire trucks to where they are most needed. This is the power of rural infrastructure. Construction distances, lowers cost, and encourages economic growth. When these bridges are completed, there will be a visible sign of government keeping the promises to improve the efficiency of the road network. This understanding is rooted in the core of our national development plan, the arrest of brain network includes the at its heart lies the recognition of rural infrastructure as fundamental to inclusive growth. Roads connect people to opportunities that are essential to any rural neglect. By investing in rural road systems, we are doing more than improving travel.
That's the voice of President Joseph Boakai speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of two overhead bridges on the Torgbean Boulevard. Speaking for his part, Chinese Ambassador to Liberia Ye Xiaowang highlighted the strengthening ties between China and Liberia, emphasizing the shared vision for economic cooperation and development.
This Bible witnessing both of our concern China is all past religious project and the time of war. First, and I have published knowledge. I want to explain the rules of the devotion and the movement of this project. I would also like to thank the Muslim leaders and the colleagues and the Commission of Public Works and other Liberian ministries, agencies, officials, for the assistance to launch this project. China and Liberia are thousands of our past across the 200 years. The Chinese farmer, holding the principles of sincerity, infinity, and progress, has actively supported Liberia's economic and social development, especially during the 2020 summit of the Forum on China-African Cooperation last year. President Xi Jinping of China and the President of Joseph Boakai successfully merged and elevated bilateral relations to a strategic partnership, marking the beginning of a new chapter in China-Liberia relations. This project represents a significant outcome of implementing the consensus reached by President Xi and President Boakai. The successful launch of it signifies the implementation of another key cooperation initiative of the Beijing Summit.
Thus, the force of Chinese ambassador in Liberia against the speaking and on the force of Liberia's chief executive president Joseph Walker. They are speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of two oil bridges in the Boulevard area. Marshall County Senator Darrell Zilong has vowed to lobby with both the House of the Representatives and the Senate to summon the Prime Minister Councillor Crow. Senator Zilong said on their break, the Labour Minister will have to update legislative status permits and also work with his colleagues to ensure that the Minister of Labour presents a quarterly report on jobs in the labour market.
When I return, I'm going to be making a case for the legislature, the Senate, to summon the Minister of Labour to tell us the deepest update on the status of work permit. We deny a work permit versus job for Liberia. And we're going to make the case at the Senate that the Minister of Labour will bring us a proper now money. We put all the labor market, on the labor market. All the work permits that were taken at the north of Liberia were not taken the same day. So all the work expired the same day. We were doing at the time. They are expiring at the different time. How many were aspired to in last 3 months? What did the labor minister do with those jobs? Did he remove the work permit? Did he provide for chemical Liberian? Did the cabinet terminate the position because the work permit was not renewed? How many jobs in the private sector in the labor market was created in the last 3 months? And the minister will have to discuss to do that immediately. We get information on money provided to us because every work permit that is not renewed and the federal Liberian is doing that job is the provision of job of the Liberian in the private sector. And no Liberian get job in the private sector in the coming week. So that's one of the things.
That's the voice of Massachusetts County Senator Darrell there speaking. Meanwhile, Darrell said promised to draft a bill on the law to amend criminal code B concerning armed robbery cases in the country. The National Identification Registry has condemned a recent violent attack on its executive director at the peers and other staff of the institution's head office in Monrovia. The September 1, 2025 incident occurred. The theft of personnel items and damage to the office places star lives on the National Biometric Identification System arrays. The National Identification Registry has highlighted increase of security measures at its headquarters in Monrovia. Bobby Addison is the National Identification Registry leading consultant. He has been speaking to our Side News late Tuesday.
I'm here today to handle previous press release to the public. There was a situation at the National Identification Registry Program on the 1st of September, and the National Identification Registry had on the Executive Director, Mr. Andrew, on Monday, September 2025, at the Allison Street office, Congota. Young men, the NRO, the sole investigation that the government, Liberia, and the national security to bring the perpetrators to justice. The NRO also called the Ministry of Justice to assist state security, monitor and serve state security at the NRO office, and told the executive director, Mr. Andrew Peters. During the incident, attackers manhandled the executive director, Mr. Peters, in his office, beating, brutalized him, and took away his personal laptop, money, and 2 cell phones, and also extended their attack on the director of President Emmanuel. The attackers also took away cells belonging to other employees of the NRA and damaged the phone leading to the executive director's office. This attack took place at NDIS, and the lives of the NRA employees are at risk. The NRA sent the National Police for the swift intervention and arrest of 5 of the attackers that are undergoing police custody. The National Identification Registry calls on citizens to reject violence and promote peace and stability in Liberia. My observation the office was accepted as media consultant at NRO. My observation at NRO, the institution that deal with sensitive documents. And the documents that deal with they have to do you and me, the national identification card ID card. So those guys that went there, we do not know where they came from, who sent them, which mission they went on. Due to the lack of security, some are doing government security, private security as well as the Congress office. But the private security will not be able to do what the government security will be at now. Police are there, military are there. So for our observations, there is to have the security and some and the institution. Even the staffers there, the are ready because the way the guys behave and went there. So 15 men, young guys that ended up with. Then one thing that not wanted them to take the executive director and Peters laptop. Really the vendor for information that they need.
That's the voice of media consultant at the National Identification Ministry, Chris Bobby Allison, then speaking to RCR News Tuesday evening in Monroe. At this point, we join Naomi to bring us the partial last points here on News Desk. Good evening.
Welcome to the Gospel Live. Tonight, also Association Dedication in Tunisia, led by second Vice President of Torgbean a courtesy visit to the Tunisian Football Federation, FTF, on Tuesday. The delegation, which included Bucharest, president of Downtown FC, and Samuel Collins of the Ministry of Finance, was warmly received by FTF President Moritz Nasri and Vice President Hussein Dania. Both federations expressed their wishes for a fair and competitive match, after which the Liberian delegation was taken on a guided tour of the federation's facilities. The Liberian national team is currently in Tunis ahead of the FIFA 2026 record qualifier against the Eagles of Tunisia, scheduled for Thursday, the 5th of 2025. We had section Tuesday morning, analyzing key moments for the progress games and studying the opponents ahead of Thursday's match. The volunteer in Oscar Dole playing in Czech Republic down in 2 minutes for the match. Emmanuel Lebanon arrived on Tuesday, completing the squad. Nigeria has been joined Group C alongside Mali, Egypt, and Morocco in the 2025 Kigali Uganda Afro Basket. It can be recalled a delegation comprising players and technical staff of Liberia's famous 16 national basketball team departed the country Monday evening to Kigali, Uganda. The delegation is headed by James Emmanuel Porter, assisted by LBA Secretary General Calvin Diggs. 12 players, a team director, coach, and assistant coach. The young athletes will represent Liberia in the 2025 Afro Basket Youth Championship, which commenced on Tuesday, September 2, 2025, and is expected to feature 12 nations from across the continent of Africa. The tournament marks a significant opportunity for a youth team to gain international exposure, compete at a high level, and showcase the growing talent within Liberian basketball. Despite a successful fundraising for children, the team still faces significant logistical and financial challenges while in Rwanda. The Liberia Basketball Association is appealing to the public, private sector, diaspora community for financial support to ensure that teams successful participation in the tournament. Contributions and assist with accommodation, daily meals, and medical care, and stipends for the players and staff. The Liberia Chess Federation has created 3 chess bureaus to the Sports Writers Association of Liberia as part of efforts to foster stronger collaboration between the two institutions. The presentation took place on Saturday, August 30, 2025 at the Federation's office in Simcoe. Speaking at the event, Vice President of the Chess Federation, contacted Japan to express Liberia for its vital role in chess across the country. He described the donation as both a gesture of appreciation and a step towards deepening the relationship between sports and music in the chess community. The Sunday Athens, the Sports Writers Association of Liberia President welcomed the Chess Federation for the thoughtful gesture and assured that rules be used for their intended purpose. He said in the release that chess is a game of critical thinking and strategy, and they intend to introduce it to their members not only as a recreational activity, but also as a tool to enhance analytical skills in leadership. The Sports Writers Association of Liberia expected that engaging with the game will help sharpen abilities to expose with greater insight and clarity. In foreign news, Easter said they had been honored to go to Newcastle as he thanked the supporters in a farewell message following his move to Liverpool. The Sweden striker joined the Merseyside club on Deadline Day in Monday for a British record transfer fee of €125 million after a drawn-out transfer saga. This has scored in Newcastle's 2-1 win over Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final in March as the club won their first domestic trophy in 17 years. However, in the summer, he said he wanted to leave the Magpies and has now played for this season. is a joint investor in system US and La Liga Santander Sociedad in 2022 is scored 27 days in the Chelsea sector competition last season. The Nappies won the Carabao Cup match and went on to qualify for the Champions League by finishing fifth in the Premier League.
The news is sports, regular feature here on News Desk. Thanks to Naomi Tapia for bringing us the news in sports. In more development is significant humanitarian effort. The Bishop of the Independent Catholic Church of Liberia, Bishop Emmanuel, has launched a major food distribution targeting vulnerable populations in Bonk and Muscle counties. Speaking Tuesday at the launch of the exercise, Bishop Doyen emphasized that the initiative is purely humanitarian, noting that political motivation or motivated and focuses on reporting or supporting the elderly for victims and unappropriate persons and women. Wrote that the first phase of the initiative provided over 750 bags of 25 kg rice. Ongoing phase contribute or distribute an additional 450 bags across the two counties. Mr. Doyle re-emphasized his commitment to help those in the need of living, calling it one of the humanitarian exercises in his life. Let's bring you this development on the program in depth. A strong supporter of the governing Unity Party, Johnson, has turned as Monrovia City Mayor John Seffer corrupt and unqualified to serve as head of the Monrovia City Corporation. Mark Johnson is therefore calling on President Joseph Walker to dismiss with immediate effect Monrovia City Mayor John Seffer. That's the voice supporter of the Queen Johnson A. Monrovia. The National Foundation for Drug Award affected persons have appealed for the government of Liberia and the national partners for assistance in training some rehabilitated youth basic vocational training skills in preparation for their reintegration in the society. The executive director of the organization, retired Colonel Augustine Nangwe, disclosed that he has secured 15 laptop computers, 5 scrutiny machines, and employ the scientists with rehabilitated use for the job market.
Immediately, one share is in line with international politics. So, in Tehran, the Toronto churches for all the staff. And I was limited to DA staff as DA is undergoing a drug test, statement test, and appreciation to the new administration that are taking over the mantle of power. It is only possible to sell the drugs for any angle. Whatever drugs, these are the factor of people taking drugs. So I just want to use the occasion to extend my thanks and appreciation to the President of the Republic of Liberia for taking a decisive decision on the drug monger, on the people of liberty, the drug monger to use the DEA as a scapegoat to be taking money from the people. And now, and we have to stop it now. We need them to scale treaty as a go on. Because you have to take the president have to get another manage to go out there to try to do the society, to be meaningful citizen in the society. The sewing machine is about 5, but a computer is about 15 computers. And we got here, classes will be opening. One of them for in the graveyard and for the ghetto, and the Somalina been going to school almost 8 years, 5 years, 4 years. So, you know, we are experts for 2,000 to know that they are good, they are up to the time to go ahead with the process. The country, so ready, we are calling them to come ahead because we know those who bought will play alone, whether they pay will take money. So we call those government to come and get happy, and we are calling international people who have a humanity to come and help the story.
That's the voice of the executive director of the National Rehabilitation for Drug and War Affected Persons. He's retired Lieutenant Colonel Augustine Nangwede speaking at the press conference in Monrovia. A group of journalists under the Barnon majority leaders of the Reporters Association of Liberia have seen themselves fund institutions 2025 pending Congress. According to the group's statement issued on Tuesday, described the action of the president of the Reporters Association as unilateral and unconstitutional call on all reporters to boycott such Congress. They also frowned on what they called a one-side decision taken by President Gbarntolmah to transition the leadership by constituting an illegal Congress committee, while the image of the institution been damaged due to President's fraudulent behavior. The release followed that during the 2022 inauguration, the Constitution received $3,000, but said the amount was allegedly misused by President Gbarntolmah. We'll be bringing you that episode in our subsequent broadcast. This is how we go home on today's edition of the program News Desk. As we take leave of you, a recap of our major developments. Government of Liberia bridge grants for the construction of 2 overpass bridges in Gbarntolmah County.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your paper Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Sensee represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Myean TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.